Give it a couple seconds. All right, welcome everybody to another episode of XN Interviews. This weekend, as always, joining us is J-Ax. How you doing tonight, man?
Good, man. What's up?
Pretty good. And our guest this week is Kabam Thel. How are you doing tonight?
Very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for joining us again. And we look forward to seeing or hearing what you got to say. So how did you get involved with Kabam, and how did you get to your position at Kabam?
Okay, it's kind of silly. I was actually reflecting on this a little bit, like over the past week, in terms of like career and stuff. But I've basically wanted to do community management since I was in high school, and it stemmed from me running my own hardcore World of Warcraft raiding guilds. I was like main tank and all through like Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, into Cataclysm, and like running that guild and creating that community of all those people and running those raids every week was something that I like got a tremendous amount of pleasure from, and like it was so fun building those relationships. And yeah, I guess it just like really coincided with my career aspirations. I like sucked pretty hard at math and science and all that stuff, and was really into writing, and so I went to school for communications. And there's some crazy heavy static by.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lower his volume a lot.
Oh, no worries.
It's because he's out of town, so it messes with his microphone.
Oh, no worries.
Is that better?
Yeah. I'm giving the long-winded answer. I'm sorry.
I'll cut it out later.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah. All right, we're good.
I don't know. Yeah, so I went to school for communications and public relations, and wanted to blend that into gaming because I like really found the idea of creating online communities and participating in them, and in the gaming space like super interesting, because it encompasses everything I love, like video games, writing, talking to awesome folks like yourselves, and so I really wanted to do that. Before I actually got into gaming, though, I was in like influencer management stuff. I worked for a company and would work with like YouTubers on brand activations and do like back-end optimization work for their YouTube channels, and as like a service as part of a company. And so that's where I got my background in influencer management for a really long time, which is why when I came onto Kabam, my first project was revamping and expanding the content creator program for Contest of Champions. So yeah, I worked at another company before I got a job at Kabam. I was just doing like player support, like answering tickets, as many of you probably have put in a ticket for the game, whatever, mcoc or mroc probably. So that was my job. I was a support agent for a really long time at another company, answering questions and giving people the stuff that they want. And then I applied to Kabam and got hired. Been here just over 2 years at Kabam now. I started as an associate. Now I'm a community manager.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also do stuff for Realm too?
I sure do. Yeah, I'm the lead community manager for Realm of Champions.
Okay.
That's my like main game that I work on for community initiatives. I still work on the mcoc content creator program, running that as well. So I have time between the two games. I also I'm not as heavily involved this year, but for the past 2 years, I was really heavily involved in the Summoner Showdown as well. That was another one of my big projects I worked on like a daily basis.
Okay.
But yeah, right now my two main jobs: community manager for Realm of Champions and lead on the content creator program for mcoc. We have a small content creator program for mroc as well, but it's not as big, not as involved as the mcoc one.
Okay, so what kind of do you look for for content creators whenever you're going to pick people for the program?
Okay, this is a really good question, and I feel like it's a really good opportunity to kind of like go through the thought process in terms of like when you submit an application to the content creator program, like what we're going through. The major tenet of the mcoc content creator program has always been to like encourage and help content creators make educational content for Contest of Champions. It's a super complicated game. There's like over 200 champions in the game now, and so many nodes and buffs, and the kits are really complicated, some of the champions. So being able to assist content creators in creating content that's educational and exploratory of the game has been like the number one thing that we look at when we're looking at content creators. So a lot of people will apply, and it'll just be like gameplay over copyright-free music. And like, while that's great, and the fact that you're making content is incredible, sometimes like when we have so many applications, we have to prioritize people who are like making actual like commentary over videos or like guides, actually getting involved in explaining their thought process when they're going into fights, who they're bringing, all of that stuff. So when we're looking for content creators for the program, we look at stuff like that. We also look at artists. The amount of times people have been like, I'm an artist, and then I submit an application, but they don't link anything. Like, they don't link like a DeviantArt, or they don't link any sort of portfolio, is pretty wild.
Wow.
So we look for artists, and if you like attach an actual portfolio, then that's dope, and we look at that as well. Web developers, we look at people who make like, stuff like Aunt My, super awesome tool for the community, just amazing. And we look at stuff like that. Marvel Synergy, that's another amazing website for the game. So infographics are definitely considered, Imagine Jim. There are a need for them because sometimes our stuff is super complicated. That's the basis of it. So I don't know. Does that answer your question in a good way, in an adequate way?
Totally.
Great.
Totally. So what are some of the requirements that you have?
For the content creator program, we have like soft and hard subscriber counts that we look at. We look at like post frequency, look at the style of content. Obviously, the content itself needs to be brand safe, just due to the fact that we are working with Marvel as an IP and brand. So we have to make sure that the content being made is above board and nice. Being 18 is great because you got to sign that NDA to be in the content creator program, which is just something that we can't get away from. We look at when I make concessions to like subscriber count or whatever, in order to let people in the program, what I'm looking at is like quality of content. Like, people have small subscriber bases like JX and a couple other creators that are in this next wave that I've just added onto the content creator program. Their subscriber count might not be huge, but the production value of the content that they're putting out is super polished and really nice considering what they're doing. And so that's a huge consideration when we look at content creators that might not hit the like hard caps of number limits that we look for. But when the production value is high, then like that's just an indicator to me that the channel growth is like the channel growth potential is super awesome, and that the content creator program, because they have like first looks at so much content coming to the game, first looks at champions, that because the content quality is already super high and polished, that their access to exclusive content is just going to help them improve and build their viewership and their following even faster. So that's why we make concessions sometimes to the hard numbers of subscriber counts.
Okay, so like the UMCOC podcast, how do you guys look at podcasts?
Podcasts are great. You know what? We need more podcasts in the content creator program. To be completely honest, the UMCOC podcast was in the content creator program before I took it over, so they're kind of like grandfathered into the program a little bit. Podcasts don't get nearly as much visibility as I feel like they should in terms of people being able to talk about the games that they love, and especially like MCOC or MROC. So they're definitely considered. I mean, JX is in the content creator program now, largely because I want to get more podcasts into the content creator program, and obviously you guys all participate in it. So
very nice.
Yeah, they're great. They're just not too many of them, and people who like participate in them, they don't often submit applications, or the applications are incomplete. So
Okay. So I was thinking about turning in an application. I mean, not that you would say you yes or no right this second, but I mean, it's good to know that you guys are looking at stuff like that too.
Yeah, toss one in, man.
All right.
Yeah, I really wanted you to. He was talking to me about applications. I was like, I definitely think podcasts are so underrated that I'm curious what it goes for people who aren't YouTubers or who aren't streamers. So that's like really awesome to hear that. Even just because I'm in the CCP with such a small subscriber count, and we do exit interviews, and so yeah, that's awesome that exit can get in, or once he gets application, see what happens there with the exit interviews.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, for anybody that even if you don't put out YouTube, content, it's good to know that there is still a spot in the CCP for people like that.
If you make content for the game and you want to be part of the content creator program, then it never hurts to just toss in an application. You might be accepted, you might not be accepted. If you're not accepted, don't sweat it. It's not a commentary on you yourself as a content creator. It's more just, our ability to onboard content creators in like an organized manner, and just like the volume of content creators that we get applying to the program on like a monthly, even daily basis. And just, if at first you don't succeed, toss another one in, and then it could happen for you.
Awesome.
Karate Mike says hi.
I was actually going to, when I was talking about like quality content at low subscriber count, I was going to talk about Karate Mike, because like that is an example of a channel that when it was onboarded into the content creator program, it was like super low subscriber count. But I could tell that obviously Karate Mike, super charismatic dude, really good at explaining content, and the content quality, even though his subscriber count was low at the time of him applying to the program, the quality of the content was super high. And like now, look at him, he's crested over like 10K subscribers, which is great for a MCOC channel.
Yeah, he's at 23 right now.
Probably 23, something like that. Yeah, something wild. He's growing exponentially, and that's great. That's pretty much like my go-to example of doing something like that, or like looking at content creators that have huge potential, but maybe not necessarily the audience when they put in an application.
No, yeah, that's really cool, and we want to we appreciate your transparency. I mean, all this information is really good to hear.
Yeah, of course. I feel like sometimes I'm like thinking about it when I'm going through and doing content creator stuff. I feel like this like shadowy figure, like going around just like giving people the nod that they can come in the content creator program. And I mean, it's all listed there like in the post on the forums of like what we're looking at. But still, sometimes people are like, why exactly didn't I get in, or something like that. So just being able to like, talk about it and give transparency, the fact that what we're looking at when we're trying to expand the program, it's super helpful, I think, to content creators.
Yeah. Okay. So when did you start playing MCOC? Did you start before you started at Kabam?
I started when I started at Kabam. To be completely honest with you, I mean, I had remembered I had like I downloaded it in order to prepare for my interview when I got like a secondary interview at Kabam, and then I started playing it because I for some reason like I'd never really been exposed to it. I mean, naturally, like working at another gaming company in Vancouver, you hear about Kabam all the time through the grapevine, and I was like busy playing the games that I play that I made at like the other company then, and so I picked up MCOC and I got very quickly addicted to it, which is awesome, and managed to get the job and keep on playing. I've been pretty consumed with MROC, so my like grinds I'm uncollected, but I'm like so close to Cavalier, and I'm just like really just trying to find the time to hammer out the last little bit to Cavalier, because I'm so behind now. I mean, it's like Thronebreaker now, and I feel like such a dork not keeping up so hardcore, but I can't. I got so many games to grind.
All right, Jay, you got a couple questions over there?
Yeah, so we always ask these questions to anyone who's on, but what's one character you'd add to the game?
MCOC?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a really good question. Let's see. I don't know. I'd really like to see like Silk in the game. I really like Silk.
Okay.
I mean, we know we have so many members of like this Spider-Verse in the game already, but I just super stoked on Silk. I would, yeah, I think that would be super awesome. I've been reading through, and I forget the name now. I've been reading through Secret Wars again. And
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one character that is. I can't remember. Why can't I? Wait, let me find Secret Wars really quick. Hold on. I'll be AFK 2 seconds.
Wait, which one is it? Which Secret Wars?
Where are you?
What's up, CT? How you doing, man?
CT came in and he had to go get his comic books.
Yeah. CT can just read those
Dog-eared
lines.
Friggin'. Oh my God. He's like underneath the rock. He's like Mr. Why can't I remember his name? It's gonna actually bug me. But God King Doom, honestly. Wouldn't that
Okay.
be cool? I think he's like he's too powerful probably for right now. But
Yeah.
God King Doom, I think that'll be dope. Well, just because Doctor Doom is like my favorite Marvel villain of all time. I have a tattoo of his face on my
Oh.
arm.
Oh, that makes sense. With your profile pic.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out to Cat Murdoch for drawing that for me. It's the best. Yeah, so I mean, I was hyped as heck when Doctor Doom was added to the game initially. But I don't know, Doctor Doom in white. It's pretty dope. God King Doom, yeah, I want to see that, or Silk. I think that'd be sick, or an Iron Spider, because big fan of that as well.
Yeah, man. Oh, the Iron Spider, man.
That would be sweet.
He
I keep on going to like Spider-Verse people, but I don't know, they're just amazing characters. One of my favorite my favorite MCOC characters to use in a bunch of content is Stealth Spider-Man. I just love his gameplay loop, and just immediately maxed him out as a 5-star when I pulled him. And yeah, I use him as a pocket pick for all content for me, just because he's so fun to play and does dope damage.
Yes.
And has some pretty sick utility as well.
I love Stealthy. I'm so glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, man. And Stark Tech. I mean, Stark Tech is amazing, but I don't have him in a 5-star or a 6-star yet. Rip.
I was gonna bring up that Iron Spider appeared in the Phantasmagoria motion comic. It was a little tease in there, and I remember that so well. And if you read the MCOC comics, it's actually Natasha Romanoff wearing the Iron Spider outfit. So it's really cool that we got some Iron Spider around contest, but still not playable yet. So I'm curious when that'll happen. And I'd love Spider characters, man. I really hope there's a Spider-Verse from the State of the Battle Realm map. You know, with 2099 Spider-Man. I'm excited for that, if that's something that is going to happen this year.
You guys are gonna have to poke and prod Gabe for the deets, man. He knows all about that type of stuff. So
I will, man. I have a lot of notes for that interview tomorrow night.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I've done so much research. I'm like, I need to reread everything Contest Champions. So I've read all the dialogue for the entire game.
Oh my goodness, that is dedication.
Yeah,
That's
man.
so sick.
I love it, dude. It's there's a lot of fun stuff to read and find and watch. Like I think I watched maybe listened or read 100 interviews that Kabam have done, whether it's him or Cuz Perry or some other members. It's really awesome.
They're all so passionate about the Marvel universe, and some of the characters that we have coming to the game are going to shock and surprise and hopefully delight you, because some of them are amazing and everyone, they're the classics, but some of them are kind of off the wall and pretty deep in the old Marvel lore. So I'm super excited for the wrapping up 2021 and see what you guys think of the champions we got coming out in contest the rest of the year, because they're pretty sweet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for Hercules and America Chavez. That's gonna be awesome.
America Chavez is amazing. The community's been asking for America Chavez for a while. I'm glad we're finally doing her. I remember ever since I started, I see a comment here and there on whatever post we do, bring America Chavez to the game. So
yeah, man.
Super,
I made
glad we can get that in there.
Oh yeah, I was talking to my good friend Moose. We made a America Chavez fan build, and I'm so excited once the build actually comes out, how close it'll be similar. Just how I've been pretty good, because I accidentally predict who's gonna come out. I did it with Spider-Ham, before he got
Did you
announced. Yeah, I made like a Spider-Ham fan art for contest, and then he got announced a week later. It's like I didn't even need to predict this because I always predict at least one character every month, and it's like, whoops. I mean, I'll take credit for that since I did it.
Are you a Marvel superhero? You got superpowers, man.
Yeah.
That was a prediction.
Yeah, I got a little foresight in me. I'm excited.
Yeah. So, what all do you like to do in Realm?
In Realm, I'm a grinder, man. I'm just, you know what? It's weird. Like I've like made a developer account that I have had to exclusively solo queue up when I'm playing. And so I've just been grinding solo queue super hard. It's made me like when I first like my initial account that that I still play on, like my private account, I thought that I had a tier list of favorites picked out, but then starting the game over again and going from square one made me have new favorites. Like I used to not care for Web Warrior, and now I'm just in love with Web Warrior. Same with like, oh god, who else? Same with Iron Legionnaire. Like I kind of just like, you know, had played with Iron Legionnaire so much during like the beta builds of the game, and that I wanted to really grind up other characters first. But like going back and playing Iron Legionnaire with the drones has been like so fun to play with. So yeah, I'm just grinding solo queue at the moment. That's what I do. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's weird though. I have to like for my developer account, I keep certain champions at certain VR levels just because, like, I'm a grinder in the sense that like I want to I need to for my job be able to experience all different tiers of play and see what's up and be able to have like hands-on experience being in like warrior, defender, avenger, and all that stuff. So it's really interesting, like going from champion to champion and like going these huge swings of VR and seeing what's being played, how the meta shifts slightly depending on how people are like building out their champions through the different tiers of battle rating. So that's been like playing over the past week. That's been a huge thing that I've been super interested in exploring.
Nice. So, what do you like? Do you like the dialogue and where it's going?
I think that the story for Realm has an incredible amount of potential, and I've seen, you know, what's coming up for the storyline, and it's really, really cool. Like Gabe and the team have done an amazing job in terms of narrative writing. I think it's like, I don't know, it's super interesting because Realm sits in such a unique place in the industry in terms of as a product, as a game, in terms of storytelling and in terms of the world that they've crafted in order to like tell stories. I think the storytelling is just going to get better. I think like there's, you know, we're going to have more ability to tell better stories and involve players more readily in storytelling through event quests and all that stuff via PvE and PvP, which is really sweet. And we have some other really cool stuff in the works that isn't necessarily in game that's going to be coming out. That's really amazing storytelling. I saw. Can't say anything about it, but it's going to be amazing. The story itself can go literally anywhere, and that's the beauty of it. Is that like it can go wherever we'd like it to go, and Gabe has a huge master plan about where he wants it to go, and I think you guys are going to be super pleasantly surprised.
Nice.
I can't wait. I'm really excited. There's the trial of the unworthy Thor coming here pretty soon. Yeah. I'm excited for that, and just honestly, the crossover between Contest and Realm have been so nice. The cutscenes they're so good. I love them. Summoner's Journey. I can't wait for more. It's gonna be. I'm really excited.
Hey, you get one more chapter in 4.0, and then there's more coming at a later date. So yeah, Black Panther's chapter opens up in 4.0, right? Yes, I wrote the patch notes. I still need to remind myself.
If anyone knows, you know.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Okay,
so I really like the one last thing I'll say is that like one of my favorite bits of storytelling that we've done in MROC so far are the collab comic books that we've done through Summoner's Journey.
Yes.
I think that like once you get to that node on the Summoner's Journey path, like I don't know, it's just so cool. Like these are turbo famous Marvel artists, and they've worked with us directly in terms of like telling the story of these barons and of the barons champions, and you know like their motivations within the world that we've built. So I think Black Panther's one is super sick. and I'm really excited for you guys to see it.
Oh, I gotta finish the Spider Guild one. Then I'll be right up
yeah.
there. I
Nice.
love the way they look, man. So good.
Yeah.
My favorite, I think Apocalypse is my favorite one so far. Just in terms of like art style and art direction, I think that one's my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite characters to play with in MCOC?
Obviously Stealth Suit Spidey, super big fan of him. I was actually going to tell the story of like my first ever 5-star. My first ever 5-star when I was playing was Superior Iron Man, which is a huge womp womp in terms of where he's at currently in the meta. Hopefully he gets buffed again soon. I think that would be sick. Or sorry, buffed. I'm gonna have to bug John about seeing where that's at, because that would be super nice. I'm a really big fan of Hulk. Rags, really big fan. I don't know why. I mean, he's not like he's a S tier champion or anything, but I just like his kit, and I like the loop of that. Same thing with Taskmaster. I really like playing with Taskmaster, even though he doesn't. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm weird for like liking off meta champions, but Taskmaster, I really like his gameplay loop as well. I like the character concept as well. Super stoked about any changes being made to his kit. Maybe more. I have to bug John about that too. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. I think. Yeah. I'm still searching for Dr. Doom because I'd really like to play him.
I just got one. So.
Did you really?
Yeah, I just got one a week ago. So I'm rank 5 in him tonight because of level up.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. You'll get one.
Eventually. I also I'm a big fan of Jabari Panther. I know that she's like newer to the contest, but I pulled her as a 5-star recently, and I think that I'm a big fan. I know it's an MROC champ, and maybe that's a cop-out for me talking about an MROC champ in MCC.
No, not at all.
But also just super fun to play with Jabari Panther. I'm a big fan of her.
Yeah, I got a 6-star Jabari Panther the day she came out. For
yeah.
Dude,
So
big
I
flex.
was pretty stoked on that.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is so sick. My latest 5-star that I pulled was Nick Fury.
Oh, nice.
And I was pretty chuffed about that one because
Proper chuffed.
yeah, I'm gonna need him. I need
Nice.
to put in the content that I'm planning on doing next. But he's an old standard classic, you know. I don't think there's not many people who don't like Nick Fury as a champion, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Jay, you got a couple questions?
Yeah. So we talked. What was one character you'd want to buff in the contest?
Oh man.
You already said you kind of like some niche characters, so maybe it could be one of them.
Yeah. Let me think.
Or is there a Spider-Verse character you really, really want to buff? Sandra says, "Please say Miles."
I mean, Miles would be sick, wouldn't it? Like, I mean, I'd love to buff Miles. I think that would be amazing. I think that I would also. Oh. I mean, imagine Jim's pretty nailing it right now for me a little bit. I mean, Venom Pool,
Yeah.
for sure.
Love that character.
I'd like to see that. I really like Green Goblin, and so I'd really like to see Green Goblin maybe buffed. The name of the champion that I'm looking for is escaping me right now. It's like can you tell that I'm nervous in terms of being on here because like all the names of champions have straight up went out of my head. But yeah, those are all. I mean, who else? I'd like to see Spider-Gwen get a little bit of like a value, just so she hits a little bit harder. I think that'll be
yeah, that'd be a good value up to buff.
yeah. Buff Ghost more, you know?
Oh my goodness, you said it.
Buff Ghost. Oh, wow. All right, so who are some champs that you think are a little overrated?
Overrated? Oh man. I don't know. Like I feel like there's so many. The conversation about balance to me is super interesting because you know, like in terms of there aren't too many champions in the game that like for all content will just like crush it. And so like I really like the idea that what John has done has like crafted kind of these picks where you're able to like if you pull this champion, you have like a really good opportunity to do super well. I mean, Quake. I don't think Quake should be touched. She takes so much skill to play. I suck at Quake, but Quake is amazing. I also Domino got me through like the majority of Act 3, 4, and 5. She does a tremendous amount of damage as well, but not to the point where it's like super overpowered.
Right on. So who are some champions that you're happy about their buffs?
I don't know. I honestly I think I think that like let me see. I'm super stoked because I have a Ronin for the Ronin buff. I think that is amazing. I think that like everyone I think has a Diablo, and the Diablo update I think is done super well. And also for Bishop, it's just like I know that these are like the latest champions that we're changing, but I think that they're all like super need it and super it's gonna provide so much value to the community because I feel like everyone has one of these champions through playing, and it's just like sitting there idle in their roster, and now I think so many people are gonna have a reason to like pick up these champions and play them and have a super good time playing with them.
Yeah, man, I was
especially Bishop, because Bishop is funny. I mean, there's that one synergy cheese that's just like ridiculous, but now now his kit's actually pretty solid, and you can crush some content pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I know that hasn't been posted yet, but I haven't even read anything on that. But nice. I'm excited for it, especially my 6-star Diablo. Okay, Exon's gonna mute. Okay, so CT keeps bringing it up. Do you know anything about this Contest Champions comic book for the House of X? I'm just curious.
I've seen it. I don't know anything else about it.
Yeah,
to be honest,
it's by
I've seen it in various channels, but no, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's by Pepe Lores, I think is what his name is.
Yeah.
So, he does a lot of the art for the X-Men comics right now. Sorry, I don't know why it took so long to say it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I love the X-Men comics right now. They're just so good. I'm excited to see how they help out with the storytelling with the mutants in the contest. It's actually crazy how as I've read the story for the mutants, it's so surprising how they stick so true to what we have in the comic books right now with the contest. It's kind of like it's weird how they're like Gabe has and whoever raids the stuff for the mutants is like hand in hand with with what they're doing with the mutants in the comics.
Our quest team, the people who write the content for like our one shots and all that stuff in the game are like the biggest Marvel super fans, and so yeah, it's so awesome that like I'm huge House of X. I'm rereading House of X right now, and it's such a good story. So yeah, I'm stoked that we can get, like bring so much. What's the word I'm looking for? We can like complement the actual like Marvel canon so closely in the game and like kind of bring it to life in a different way. I think that's super sick.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and especially some people. I was listening to your 2019 with Unofficial Contest Champions podcast, and in that you actually confirmed that like Iceman was gay when Iceman came to the game. And like I didn't even realize when I was reading that comic book, and they were talking about awakening your true self for Iceman because he's struggling with his Omega abilities of trying to get there. Like that's something that he's never done in the comics, and something about him being with his sexuality as well. Like it wasn't something he was going about, and so now we have him in the game, we have Angela in the game, and we have two more characters coming out next month. So it's crazy how good and you guys get everything.
Yeah, I didn't know that either before I like started. Like obviously I was super familiar with Iceman, but like not with the deeper lore and like background of his character. And so learning about that was so awesome. Talking to Gabe about that, I think it's pretty cool. I'm so glad like that we're able to do this stuff and be able to like present these characters in such an amazing way. Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's awesome. So what's it like when content creators are adding you all day?
I don't mind it, to be honest. I mean, sometimes it gets a little bit distracting, but I mean, it depends. Like, I am added all the time on Discord, and that's why my profile picture has like a quadrillion at notifications on it on Twitter. But it's fine. I mean, I think that it's great. Like one of the parts of my job is to be that liaison for content creators, you know, that are in the program. I feel like I need to be more active on Twitter in terms of content creators adding me on there, and I'll do better at being more active on Twitter. But my whole life revolves around the content creators in the program and making sure all the things work to be able to help facilitate their content creation. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's part of the job. It comes with the territory, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
That video was cursed.
10 hours of intense Discord pings.
So cursed.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm not clicking that.
Hard.
So Jay, you got anything else? I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, so you started with contests and when you first joined, and how was the transition from contest into a realm? Were you automatically going into a realm, or was it something you had to transition from contest to realm?
I applied internally for the position because the game was coming out. I've been working on Realm for a really long time. I mean, I've been working on Realm before it was released for longer than it is now has been released. So
3 years.
I applied. Yeah, ish. I mean, it was in development before I actually started working on the day-to-day team. Wow. And then starting to get that all sorted out. But it's great. Wait, can you repeat the question? Sorry.
I said, how was your transition? Like what was it?
Yeah. The transition was fine. I mean, applying internally to the job and getting it is super awesome. Just because I super enjoy working at Kabam. It's such an awesome company to work for. So for them to be like, okay, yeah, like, I mean, working on Realm is kind of like a dream fulfilling job for me because I had a goal of being a community manager, and I know, like, in terms of doing the job on a day-to-day now, it feels different because I'm doing it now. But like, I love my job, and it was so awesome to be able to have a goal of being like, I want to be a community manager, even though that's like not a hugely large aspiration, because, you know, like it just was so, I don't know, it was so, I was so stoked when I got the job, and that they promoted me internally in order to do it. Like, your first posting, your like first job. So the transition was amazing, and it's such a privilege to be able to work on the team every day. Because the MROC team are like some of the most dedicated and hardworking developers I've ever worked with. Everyone at Kabam is amazing, and so to just like be able to have the position that I do and do this on a day-to-day basis is just super humbling, and I'm very stoked to be able to do it. I think that like immediately I got so sucked into MROC that I keep on having to do these like checks where I like have to resync myself with mcoc because there's so much going on mcoc at all times, and it's so hard to focus on both sometimes that I have like the occasional catch up for myself in terms of like getting back into the swing of things with mcoc when I have to go back and do content creator stuff, and then go back and prepare everything on a monthly basis for MROC. There's some amazing things coming for MROC. Could not be more excited about the direction that the game is going in, or at least what we have planned. So I'm super excited to continue work on the game. I think it's awesome. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. So is there a champion release schedule for MROC?
Oh, you know I can't talk about that. Oh, man, you know it's off limits information.
You gotta join the MROC CCP first.
So what's a day in the life of Thel like?
Wake up. At the beginning of the pandemic, I bought myself a present, which was an espresso machine, which because I'm a huge coffee fan, and I have just absolutely used it so much. So every day starts out with a coffee, a beautiful espresso. I'm a nerd about video games, but I also nerd out pretty hard about like coffee and espresso. And so I make myself a coffee, and I bake. I'm a big fan of baking, so I bake bread ever so often. So I make myself breakfast, man. Usually
Nice.
like toast, like avocado toast, or like peanut butter and jelly on toast with homemade bread. Sit down at my desk, check all of my Discord notifications and emails, and get the day going. I'm lucky enough in Vancouver to be able to like go into the office occasionally now. So I'm like working remotely part-time, and I get to go in the office part-time, which is super nice to have. Like, I don't know, anyone else in the audience who's like been working from home potentially, it's like the monotony really started to set in after a while of like working from home, and so the opportunity to go into the office a little bit again has been super awesome. So yeah, occasionally I'll go in the office and I'll get a coffee at the coffee shop around the corner. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is like, you know, our most active community platform is Discord, and obviously like Reddit as well, but to a slightly lesser extent in terms of the volume of messaging that we get. It's been an interesting experiment from like for us, the community team at Kabam, in order to start experimenting with Discord, because previously we had forums, right? Obviously, in like traditional social media and traditional forums. And so the thought process behind Discord for MROC was that we wanted to emulate and have a community platform that emulated the speed and interaction that players get while actually playing Realm of Champions. And so we felt like Discord was a super good fit for that, to be able to emulate the style of the game in terms of having a community platform. And so it's been such an interesting like learning process in terms of getting that Discord set up, and, you know, like learning all about bots and all that stuff. And I think it's been good so far. And it's provided this really interesting, from like a community management theory perspective, as someone who's like, this is my first time running like an official Discord server. It's been so interesting to see the way that like feedback and player interaction changes when we have a dedicated Discord like this. And so yeah, day to day is like I read basically every message in the Discord, and like the major thing that I am as a community manager is that I'm a conduit between the people who make the game and the people who play the game. And so a large part of my job and like daily is a lot of like meetings talking about stuff that's currently going on in the game, stuff that's coming to the game, interpreting how players feel about something that's already live, or how they will feel about something that's going to be live soon. And really being able to provide and be that voice of the players to the games team, in order to like, you know, make sure that you guys, or everyone who plays the game, and community members are heard, and taking that feedback that everyone puts in, and being able to present it to the team. I synthesize a lot of feedback into actionable things for the team to take into consideration when they continue to develop the game. Does that answer your question?
That was a lot. That answered the questions about the. Yeah, that was good. I didn't know that much about the server. I was just curious about the MROC server. I was always like, why isn't there a contest one? So no, that's cool.
That's true. I mean, we've tossed around the idea of creating an official MCOC Discord server, but I'm not like I don't know how it would work. I mean, I feel like the community platforms themselves are so established that the transition would be like gargantuan. You know?
Yeah. No, I felt the same way when I was thinking about it.
Yeah. But like Mirrorverse has one, and that one is super dope. If you guys haven't tried out Mirrorverse yet, I highly recommend it if you can. Great game. And MROC has one too. So yeah, it was my idea to make a Discord, to integrate Discord into our like community platforms, and so far so good, I think. In terms of and how it's kind of just like the game, it's constantly being developed, and the Discord is constantly being developed as well. So we have some cool things coming for Discord that's going to be really awesome, and I'm hoping are super awesome. So I think that I have more to say, but I don't want to bore you guys with.
No.
You can go, man. It's your interview, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just gonna ask if you have been watching Loki.
Oh my god, how good is it? Yo, I was saying actually the other day, I want a variant jacket so badly. I don't know why. It seems like
TVA jacket,
like the TVA jacket with variant on the back. I would wear it every day.
I think there might be one at Hot Topic. I was looking at the other day because Marvel sent
I
out.
might even have one at DisneyShop.com.
Yeah.
That the other day.
I just had the idea that I really wanted one. I didn't end up going on like a Google search spree and see if I can pick one up, but now I will.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I knew it.
Absolute.
Thank you, CT man.
Clutch. I think it's dope. I think it's super cool. There's a loot crate that I was gonna buy that had like TVA socks in it, and I'm a sucker for a good patterned sock. I don't know why, but yeah, I'd wear that. That's so dope. I don't know.
Heck yeah.
Maybe yeah. But Loki is great. I think that Loki is an amazing show. I don't know. I feel like this is maybe controversial to say. I'm liking it better than Falcon and Winter Soldier so far. Just in terms of like the breadth of the story that they're telling. I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is great. WandaVision obviously absolutely slapped. I loved that show. I think it's my number one right now until Loki finishes, but I think Loki is my number one Marvel TV show of right now, of the limited supply that we have to choose from. But Loki's my favorite so far.
Yeah, I definitely feel that with the storytelling too. Like I feel like WandaVision was too slow, Falcon was a little bit too fast at points, and then Loki's kind of in that middle. I think they figured it out on the storytelling really well.
Well, I'm just like anticipating how much tie-in story that they're going to be telling in Loki. Like, obviously, I have no idea what's coming with the TV
multiverse,
show.
baby.
But like Multiverse of Madness, man. Like it's I don't know, and also Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. That there's that type of like Abomination fighting Wong. Like that's wild in there in that like latest trailer. The Multiverse of Madness stuff that's going to come out is absolutely. Wild, dude. And I think Loki is doing a really good job of preparing all the fans for the crazy stuff that's going to come with the next phase of the MCU. That's why it's my favorite. Also, I don't know, I'm a big fan of Tom Hiddleston, and I'm a huge fan of Owen Wilson as well. So
yeah, for sure. So do you think we could see this Tom Hiddleston go away and the new Sylvie come stay?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't even want to speculate, dude. I don't know. I don't think Tom Hiddleston is going anywhere.
I feel like if she's gonna be, I feel like she's gonna become 616. Or sorry, that's not 616, but whatever. I forgot. It's like the 10-9s universe or whatever. So I think she's gonna become the Enchantress, and he'll become the new Loki.
Okay.
Kind of fit in there, with also all the madness going around, you know.
Yeah, Tom Hiddleston is already a 616 Loki, isn't he? So he's like the. But I don't know, with the amount of variants and everything, like, who knows what's going to happen. I'm also excited for other Loki variants that are going to pop up through the rest of the show. Like, how else are they going to reimagine Loki potentially? I'm just really excited about that.
That Hulk Loki, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, how wild is that?
Yeah,
it's like What If, man. Like, I'm so excited for What If. I think that's going to be such a cool reimagining of some like super iconic characters.
Yeah, for sure.
That scene with all the other Loki variants, those are from. It's actually a comic book cover that's from the comics, and they put him in the MCU, which is really cool. Besides the tracksuit, I think the tracksuit Loki was a little bit different. That was just a photoshopped Tom Hiddleston picture.
Is it the one of him like winning the soccer?
Yeah,
like the soccer trophy. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for SL Loki. I think it's gonna be amazing.
Okay. So did you have any sort of background in Marvel or comics before you started working with Kabam?
Yeah, I mean, I should post a picture of my graphic novel collection somewhere on Twitter, because it's not massive, but it's up there, dude. I think that like the interesting thing about me is that like my interest in graphic novels started not grounded within the Marvel universe. Like I didn't start with like Spider-Man comics necessarily. I got into graphic novels when I was like 14, 15, and they were all like, you know, I mean, I'll just say Warren Ellis is like one of my favorite graphic novel writers of all time, and also I'm terrible at names. Also, who is it? Kirkman. Sorry, I read a lot of Robert.
Oh, Robert,
Kirkman's work
yeah.
as well.
Okay.
So my initial falling in love with graphic novels was like outside of that. Like Invincible, yes. Walking Dead, yes. Like Brian Wood as well, also just like a ludicrously talented writer. I'm a big fan. He wrote he co-wrote a series called DMZ, which I found when I was quite young, and I thought it was super cool because I was like never exposed to the world of DMZ. Essentially, the TLDR is like essentially there was like a civil war in the United States, and like Manhattan has become like a demilitarized zone, and it's all about this like journalist that goes into the DMZ and this like the power struggle between all these people, these like larger than life characters, and it's a great series. And yeah, it holds a special place in my heart. Same with Invincible, same with the Walking Dead series. I was super disappointed about how the TV show turned, but the graphic novel series continued to be like top tier. I have seen Scarlet, but I have not picked it up yet. So Marcus, I will put that on my list. I'm reading this Ellis. I know we're not talking about Marvel. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But, like, this is the foundation of my love of graphic novels. But then to get into Marvel, I started reading X-Men comics, and then had these big, giant X-Men volumes that I read through, and Fantastic Four stuff. Silver Surfer got me into it really intensely. Obviously, like my copy of Secret Wars is dog-eared and read like so many times. Big fan. And yeah, I love graphic novel. I love the medium of like graphic novel storytelling. I think it's so amazing. In terms of like the art style and like the emotion that they can convey via art, and you know, it's so interesting writing for graphic novels as well, because like you have to say a lot with little words. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have much space necessarily, depending on the graphic novel, but I mean, you have to be able to say a lot with little words. And as a person who writes a lot for a living, I have a huge amount of respect for graphic novel writers, because it takes a lot of revision and a lot of like really choosing your words carefully in order to really convey what you want to convey in terms of storytelling. And I think that's what graphic novels do so well, which is really admirable.
Very nice.
I'm rambling again. I'm sorry.
No, it's
all
okay.
good. I love graphic novels. I took a graphic novel class in high school, and it gave me like so much new perspective on graphic novels. Once I took that class, that was like only in that area, and it was so nice learning so much stuff. And that's what got me mostly into graphic design.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some just amazing. I'm trying to look at my graphic. It's obscured by the glass right now, but reading recently. I mean, there's like classics, dude. Like if you've never read From Hell before, it's gigantic, but like it's an absolute seminal graphic novel read. It's incredible. It's about Jack the Ripper. It's a bit gory, but it's a classic. You know, it's awesome. I really like that. Started my love affair with graphic novels. Also, The Watchmen was like hugely instrumental in me falling in love with graphic novels as well. Just absolutely gorgeous storytelling and super interesting characters.
I know Gabe loves Watchmen. He even appeared in the movie.
Yeah,
which is so cool.
Wait, Gabe appeared in Watchmen?
Yeah, he's in the movie.
He's in like one scene.
Yeah, he's in one scene where it's it shows a crowd of people when they're looking at the heroes, and he's a person in that crowd. I don't have the screenshot, but I'm sure it was Gabe. Yeah, he talked about it. I was listening because I said I listened to almost every Kabam interview there is, and on the unofficial, he talked about that Watchmen was his favorite. He loves dark storytelling. He was like, I appeared in the movie, just dropped the ball, like they dropped the mic, and I'm like, dude, what? Yeah, he's in that. It's pretty sick.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to ask him about that, man, because he's never told me about that.
Yeah, they filmed it in Vancouver, and he said he just got on the set and got in the movie.
That's crazy.
But speaking about Kabam, you used to sit, or do you have your desk is right next to Kabam mics, right?
It was, yeah.
Was.
It was. We used to sit right next to each other. I mean, we still kind of do in the office. I sit in front of him now, I guess, in terms of when we were both working in the office, but we're really far away from each other.
I was just gonna ask, like, do you miss sitting right next to him?
Oh my god, yeah, dude. It was so nice. Like, we chat a lot on a daily basis, obviously, because we work quite close together. And it was so nice to be able to just like lean over and be like, yo, Mike, blah 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 blah, and just like talk to him. I knew that I was bugging him then, but now I just feel like I'm bugging him more because we talk via Slack now if we're like not in the same room. So the few instances where we've both been in the office at the same time has been amazing because, you know, Mike's awesome, just like a ludicrously smart guy, and I just, you know, it's so nice to like run something by him and just get his perspective. I really like working with him, so I miss it. Yes, I miss it. I miss the whole team. Really, we used to work like the whole team used to work in pretty close proximity with each other, and so yeah, I miss the whole team. I miss the office. I'm one of those people who, like, you know, at first when I was like working from home shouldn't be that bad, and then I really like going into an office. It's just kind of like the way I work, in terms of like being super productive, because for some reason, like I don't know, I associate like being in my apartment with like playing games and like cooking food and hanging out. But when I'm at the office, it's kind of just like I feel more like directed in terms of like I feel more efficient when I'm there, like doing business stuff, you know?
Yeah, in the office it looks amazing. There's so much cool stuff. Like I was like, wow, you guys have a cool office. You guys like a cool mural of like Transformers and Marvel characters. Got a Colossus guillotine life-size things. Got the arcade machine. Like, oh my goodness.
The Colossus is amazing. The amount of times I've had to move around that Colossus for like shoots or whatever, I'm very familiar with that Colossus. It's amazing. It's so sweet. Also the Optimus Prime, man. Optimus Prime, underrated. Yeah. That's a crazy sculpture. Yeah. There was like talks about when we were last at my god, New York Comic Con, and we were like unveiled Emrock to the world. We had that colossal Maestro statue.
Yes.
And the whole talk, the talk about like what are we gonna do with where's the statue gonna live now? And I think like, you know, they're planning on making room for it somewhere.
They are.
In our offices, yeah. So that's gonna be wild.
Yeah, I tweeted Gabe on Twitter. There. I was like, "Where is it? Where is that?" And he was like, "It's in stories." I'm like, "No,
yeah,
come on."
Yeah, it's such a cool statue. I want it in like the lobby of our office or something. You know, just towering over the elevators before you go up or something. I think that'd be sweet.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the Maestro. Maestro's always been one of my favorite characters in Marvel Comics. If I have like my whole room is filled with so much Marvel stuff, and I just love, like, I've always loved the collector. Collector's more about collecting species, but the Maestro, he's about collecting those Marvel artifacts from these different heroes and villains. That's always been like that's why I love the contest from the get-go. And yeah, Legion of course is my favorite too, just because he's got almost every single power you can think of. But those are definitely my two favorite my two favorite Marvel characters. And yeah, I just got apparently I got a Marvel Maestro toy or figure that looks very similar to the game.
No way.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was contest, and it's CT was telling me about it, that he's wearing the Hulk armor, the Iron Hulk armor that he only wears in the MCOC comics and the game. And so I was like, it's now I got almost every IRL MCOC merchandise there is, which is really cool.
I'm trying to find hold on. Oh yeah, there's this PCS statue that was made of Venom Pool that is absolutely colossal. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. I want it so badly.
It's $2,500.
Yeah, it's ludicrously expensive, but it is also just so cool looking. I love Venom Pool.
CT says he has a spare one, dude. I will.
You do not have a spare one, CT.
He's trolling you.
He's got them connections to Sideshow, so you know. Yeah, he has his own. He's got a shop, and he says he gets.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't know where it would go in my apartment. It would just like live somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat if anyone doesn't know. That came out about a a bit ago, and they even just unveiled a new Deadpool statue that we had a giveaway for in April from one lucky summoner.
So good.
Yeah. Jay, do you have anything else over there, man?
I do not, because I just lost my train of thought. Oh, there you go. Well, there it is. Sim just posted it. Someone with 3 of them. Yeah, it's huge.
Wow.
It's so awesome. I don't know. I don't know. It not only is it a super impressive statue, I wasn't expecting to be so blown away by like the texturing on the statue itself.
Yeah, that's like true. It's like
of the Deadpool suit is like truly detailed as heck.
Yeah, Venompool is always such a cool. Out of all the Venompool designs, there's like 4 or 5 of them. I love the one in the contest. It's definitely the best one. Even the creator Deadpool even talked about that. Like the one in the contest is one of his favorites. And this way, I was like, dude, that's super cool.
That is super cool.
So, Mr. King's asking about, do you know any of the Portuguese or Brazilian MCOC or MROC community?
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of Portuguese content creators in the program already for MCOC. I'm honestly not too sure for the MROC community. I will have to do more digging into that. Unfortunately, like one of the limitations of the community team is that like we offer community in like pieces in English. Like we'll translate everything, but sometimes it's harder to get insight on like a personal level in terms of communities from different countries. I mean, we do it. It's just sometimes because we live in an English-dominated country, sometimes it's easier to be engaged with the English-speaking community. So send me all your links to all the MROC and MCOC Portuguese creators or community things that you think I should look at, because I'd love to take a look.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So, what advice would you give to somebody who is looking to join the CCP or is just starting content creation?
For Contest of Champions or for content creation in general, I mean, I'd say just start. I think the hardest thing about it is starting, and you'll find eventually your flow and what works for you. And find out like what is good and what's bad, and it's a learning process, and it's a tremendously hard thing to do. Content creation is extremely challenging, and anyone who does do it, I have a tremendous amount of respect for, because I suck at editing. But I think that if you're looking at the MCOC content creator program in general, I think that let's see. Not being afraid to talk over your gameplay, I think, or just record gameplay and talk over it after the fact.
Yeah.
I think just like presenting your perspective and commentary and having trying to bring a unique perspective to a certain fight or to a certain node or whatever you're doing in game. Tier lists obviously huge. Everyone's opinion is super important. Just being able to bring a unique perspective to MCOC from a content creation perspective is great. I mean, like, as long as you are talking and have something to say, that puts you head and shoulders above other content creators that are creating content for the same game. Just because, I get a huge amount of people who just apply with gameplay over random music. And I mean, that's great because obviously you can see how skilled the players are at the game. But in terms of like being part of the content creator program, we really like to be able to engage people who have unique opinions and are able to talk about it via their content or via or to us and the other developers who make the game on a day-to-day basis in our Discord server. So yeah, that's what I'd say. Don't be comfortable talking on it. Face cam doesn't matter as long as you're talking. That's the best. And if you're passionate, obviously it's going to shine through. So practice and apply, and maybe you'll get in.
Yeah. What are some YouTube tricks you think that could also help a channel grow for people who aren't as experienced with YouTube, either whether content creation or streaming?
I could talk to you guys about this for hours. I am, my weird nerdy admission is that I am YouTube certified, and so a few years ago I did a program designed by Google in order to certify myself in back-end SEO and analytical work. in terms of like, and I know it's probably like, silly to say because the algorithm for YouTube changes so frequently. But yeah, I am a big fan of like analytical and back end work. I do the back end work for the official MCOC YouTube channel
Nice.
in terms of all that stuff. So let's see, what kind of advice for a growing channel? I would say, okay, here's the thing. How much time do you guys have? The way that the YouTube algorithm works is interesting because it's based off of watch time, right? So
Yes.
when you're going and you're trying to see what's up, and obviously you're trying to grow as a creator, and you're up against it, man, because there's so much stuff on YouTube all of the time. People have always talked about the fabled 10 minutes. The 10 minutes doesn't really matter. It's just that's if you're monetized for like an extra AdSense payout to get to 10 minutes. A lot of what I see for content creators that are smaller are like super long VODs that are just posted as discoverable videos. And like people who are live streaming and just like playing around and then posting VODs, that's going to kill your channel because there's a tremendous amount of watch time posting like 2 hour long VODs and having like 13 people watch like a grand total of 3 minutes of it or something. In the algorithm's eyes, having a like 120 minute piece of content and have people watch 3% of it, that in YouTube's eyes is like, this isn't good content. We shouldn't push this to more people. So when you're looking at content, you want to make sure that you are trying to maximize watch time, because I think that maximizing watch time is a means of telling the algorithm to push your content to more people. I think that happens, and that's more of like a back end thing in terms of like a content theory thing of like how you format your content. But for YouTubers that are just starting out, yeah, I'd stick to like 4 to 8 minute videos, and like be engaging, make sure to talk. I think that's really excellent. But the main thing that I think all new YouTubers need to get accustomed to is something that I kind of like to call the holy trifecta. And the holy trifecta is video tags, thumbnailing, and titling. Those are and to a certain extent description, because descriptions are actually surprisingly useful in terms of building more SEO into your YouTube upload. But the big things that you can focus on as a new content creator are those three things, like titling, thumbnailing, and your video tags. And like video tags have become less a part of discovery in terms of people finding your content organically, but they still have a huge impact on maybe potentially getting your videos into the sidebar of related content, because when you're looking at related content to what you're seeing, then by having like accurate video tags, you might have a higher chance of appearing higher up in that list, that big column of like, you should watch this next. And depending how good your SEO is, you could be higher ranked on there. So if someone's watching like a video from a larger content creator and you have similar video tags, then you might be right next to them. And then you get into the next two parts of the holy trifecta, which is thumbnail and titling. So like, think about it. I'm watching a video by Karate Mike, and I see a YouTube video on the sidebar, and like, what's eye-catching? It's like a clean thumbnail and a clean title. The thing is that like, when you're thinking about YouTube optimization, it is a little bit of psychology, because you are trying to entice people to click on your content, right? That's like the main thing. I mean, when clickbait was a huge thing, I mean, it still is kind of, and it's not great, but like there was a time in YouTube where it was all clickbait because the algorithm worked off of clicks. Like literally people just clicking your video was enough in order to like bump it up in the SEO. But now it's about watch time, because people are just making click farms, and that's how they're getting views, and that sucks. So we're gonna actually make people watch the content and see if it's worthy. But now, like, what you're trying to do is create like a symbiotic relationship between your thumbnails and your titling in order to entice people to click the video. And that's not the summary of my advice. How dare. But yeah, I mean, that to a certain extent slays like semi-correct. You want to get people in the door, but your content has to be high quality.
You got to keep them out.
If it's just like garbage tier content, then people are just going to click off immediately, and then you're not going to like see the growth that you necessarily want. And so, yeah, I mean, that is more of a like, I think that it's really interesting in terms of the MCOC content creator community, because like everyone knows everyone. It's such a huge community, but also there's so many content creators and everyone knows everyone. And like based off of analytics, a lot of viewers watch a huge host of content from different contests of champions content creators. That was a lot of C words in there. And so I think it's a really interesting pool that MCOC content creators are in, of being able to share a large audience together. It's just about getting noticed. But I didn't mean to say garbage tier in like a poor way, MSD. I meant it in terms of like, if it's super pixelated and like if it's doesn't provide any value to someone who's watching it. Obviously MSD
is just really low, yeah.
Like MSD is obviously like a ludicrously talented MCOC player, and so like whatever video MSD posts is super impressive. There's a lot of content creators that just like post fights and just upload it for the sake of uploading, and I shouldn't say garbage here because it takes a lot of work in order to do that. But you know, there's like a difference between people making commentaries about a fight and just uploading a fight. You know, does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
there's a difference between people talking through their thought process and the choices that they're making while going through a fight or while going through a path, of like who to bring in and what they're doing on a like moment to moment basis, rather than people just like going through and doing it at like 2 times speed. There's a difference there, and I think it's more engaging for people to learn people who are proficient at the game's thought process, because it then in turn obviously like makes the person watching want to be able to make those same choices, or provides them the means to learn about certain things they didn't know before that will help them progress in the game in a more efficient manner. So
nice.
I'm sorry that was a super long-winded answer as well, but yeah, holy trinity of YouTube backend stuff. Video tags weirdly important. The description is strangely important as well. But just to like put in a description of what the video is actually like, the spiders that come down. I know it's weird that they're called spiders, but it's literally the technical term, that like scan your video will read those words, and it's part of discovery in terms of like who they will serve the video to. I know it's cliche, but asking people to comment and like is super helpful, because it shows it qualifies as engagement on the video, and higher engagements and CTAs are instrumental to being able to push that content to more people, not only people who have engaged with like MCOC content in the past, but also people who may not have necessarily engaged in MCOC content in the past. Like if it's in like a kind of weird similar realm, but the video has high engagement, then there's a higher chance that you're accessing audiences that haven't necessarily been introduced to MCOC yet. And then also you're introducing your content to people who watch a lot of MCOC content.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah,
that sums it up, and that's a lot of good information.
Yeah, that was really great. Thank you. Hopefully that helped a lot of people getting out there, trying to make their content better, trying to get into the system better, grow the channel, and apply to CCP.
Woo!
Yeah, sure. Jay, if you got anything else, I think we could probably end it on that.
Yeah, man.
CT made a interesting comment that video-based collaboration is an untapped market. To a certain extent, CT, I would agree with you. Also, though, there have been a huge amount of collaborations that I have worked on in the past or facilitated that hasn't necessarily like netted the desired result for people. It totally depends on who you're collaborating with. If it's just anyone, it's not going to be as because people come for one content creator and then they don't necessarily stick around for the other content creator unless that other content creator can really hit it home and like really convert those viewers that came from a larger channel, you know? I'd say that they have a huge amount of merit, but I think you need to be a solid content creator in your own right before you can do those or you need to have a solid audience in your own right in order to start doing those collaborations, is where I'd probably make the differentiation.
Yeah, that's something that with the Future of Society, that's what we want to do. Is we want to have these amazing collaborations with our content creators, with our people who make concept buffs, like me, Marcus, Imagine Jim, everyone in the team want to make some awesome stuff, and that's what the site is like. It's all about collaboration, working with the community, making some awesome stuff for anyone in the community to see, anyone at Kabam to see, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, Simula makes a really good point as well. Make what you want to see. I think that's a super underrated comment. Make what you want to see is I couldn't have put it better myself, because there's a market for everything, obviously. Yeah. And like, you know, so much content is like super end game stuff. You're right in the comments. Like, I'm trying to get more like mid-tier players in that want to make content that are like not necessarily just like cutting edge Thronebreaker players that are like rank 3ing 6 stars. I want, because like a huge portion of the people who play Contest of Champions live in that middle ground of like not being Thronebreaker and like being sitting down like maybe like the uncollected or below category in terms of game progression. So making content like that, I think, is a super untapped market.
Very nice. They're asking if you guys at Kabam like Big Kid Scotty's videos.
Sorry, repeat the question. You were a little bit breaky uppy for me.
Yeah. So they're asking if you like Big Kid Scotty's videos.
I don't send me them. I don't know if I've ever seen them.
Yeah, he's a kid who's making some hilarious content. He's got some really funny videos.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm stoked to see him. Yeah, I'm always blown away at the how much I watch content creators for MCOC's content, and then how many times I'm discovering new content creators every day that I like never heard of in my life. I think it's amazing that so many people want to make content about this game, and maybe I have seen one of his videos.
They've been trending on Reddit and whatnot.
I'm gonna watch all of them.
there's a lot of time putting those videos. You can tell it's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That's so awesome. Yeah, no, I saw the champs get buffed one. That's definitely the one I saw.
Yeah. You got anything else over there, Jay?
I was just reading CT's thing about the oversaturation of endgame players. What would you say? Do you have anything to say on the oversaturation of endgame players for the CCP?
I think that it is just a symptom of. I agree, and I'd really like more mid-tier players in the content creator program. I think that it is the issue is that the people who are at the end game are also the people who are making the most educational content, which is a huge aspect of the content creator program itself. And so it's a bit of like, you know, an issue where people, I mean, like just talking about like the impetus of like what it takes in order to start making content about MCOC, and all the people who are already like super passionate about the game are grinding it out and at the very end game. And those also happen to be the people who are making really good content about the game as well. So I think that it's just a symptom of progression and a symptom of people becoming content creators because they have this unique ability to show end game content.
Okay. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
So if that's about it, I want to thank you again for joining us and showing us some of the transparency that comes from Kabam.
Hey, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. I'll come on again whenever.
Right on. Everybody in chat, I want to thank you all for joining us and asking. Who's your dream team?
My dream team in MCOC? Red Hulk, Massacre, and Domino, and then 2 others because the other 2 on your team don't matter because the Holy Trinity is amazing.
I love Massacre.
Nice.
So good.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody again. I want to congratulate everybody that just got into the CCP. I know Marcus, Simula, Jay, Mr. King, and I'm sure you've got more that you just added to. But you guys, congratulations.
Thank you. I know I'm the one who can talk, but yeah, man, it's so awesome. I know every one of us were like, holy crap, this is such an amazing opportunity, and yeah, we're getting some work done. I'm very excited for the future CCP, and just be an image for people to say like, hey man, if you work hard, you can get in, do what you want to do, make some amazing content, unique content, do what you love, and you'll get in, man.
Yep. Thanks everyone for having me. Also, thanks everyone for applying to the program, because it's you are the people who make, and doing stuff like that, which makes this community such an amazing community to be a part of. And so excited that in a small way I get to facilitate, the continuation of all this content being made. That's awesome for everyone. So thanks very much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Yep.
You as well. I'll talk to you later.
We have Kabam Gabe on tomorrow as well, so before everyone knows that.
I'm gonna be listening in for that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
Very nice.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah, man.